Conception of Liberty in the Colonies by Zachelle Sierra and Kathleen Mendez. Liberty in New England. The New England colonies were Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire. This liberty is described as something which belonged not to an individual but to an entire community. One branch of ordered liberty is collective liberty, also known as public liberty, which was very restrictive with the people living in the towns. For example, in Massachusetts, no one was allowed to live in the colony without the approval of the general court. If you continued to move into the colony without the approval of the court, even if you were high rank or elite, you were sent to prison. The idea of collective liberty had strange obligations that the colonists residing in New England must comply to. Easton's town ordered that no man could marry until he had killed 6 blackbirds or 3 crows. Every town had a different set of rules. General Court passed statutes which allowed the magistrates to restrain any act by any means. One law threatened that if any man shall exceed the bounds of moderation, we shall punish him severely. The colonists accepted individual restraints, but insisted that they should be consistent with written laws called Fundamentals of Commonwealth. Another branch of ordered liberty was plural liberty. It was liberty of a town. For example, tenants were given a specific liberty of fishing in the river. This liberty was not universal or absolute. The river was closed to everyone else. In Massachusetts, a colonist's rank was defined by the liberties that they possessed. This liberty might seem very narrow-minded to modern Americans. Another branch was Christian liberty. Christian liberty can be described as the ability to freely choose to follow God's law.
Hegemonic liberty in the South. The Southern colonies were Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. Hegemonic liberty meant how much dominion you have over others and how little dominion others have over you. Virginia's ideas of this liberty conceived of freedom mainly as power to rule and not be overruled by others. Kowtow means to bow down to someone and knowing that their power is higher. In the triangle shown on the slide, it represents how much liberty was distributed within the colonies in the South. If you were of high rank, you had lots of liberty. If you were of low rank, you virtually had no liberty. Hegemonic liberty was a hierarchical idea. One's status in Virginia was based on the liberties that they possessed. The world became a hierarchy where people were ranked based on their degree of unfreedom, and they received their rank by fortune. Reciprocal liberty in the Mid-Atlantic. The Mid-Atlantic colonies were New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New York. This idea of inner light included life, liberty, and property. This idea led William Penn to believe that everyone possessed the power of telling truth from error. Penn believed that if one did not tell the truth would reveal itself. Penn recognized that the rights of an Englishman were the right entitled to your own lives, liberties, and estates, the right to have a representative government, and the right to be tried by a jury. Liberty must be protected by the government so that it can be enjoyed. In the Mid-Atlantic colonies, property was very important to the colonists because the land was mostly used for farming. The Charter of Privileges in 1701 commanded that no person could be obligated to answer to a complaint, matter, etc., regarding one's property except in the ordinary course of justice. In Pennsylvania, the laws guaranteed the right of every free man to a speedy trial, to a jury chosen by law in criminal cases, and everyone had the same privileges in the court.
Natural liberty in the back country. Natural liberty was basically the leave me alone liberty. The political documents of the back settlers contained many references to liberty as their British birthright. They shun everything which appears to demand of them law and order, and anything that preaches constraint. This liberty developed in large part from the British border country, where anarchic violence had been a major part of life. In North Britain, the idea of natural liberty was something that every animate creature naturally desires. Patrick Henry was a supporter of natural liberty, a descendant of British borders of the American back country. Greatly remembered for his speech that threatened the King of England with tyrannicide. In 1788, Patrick Henry led the opposition to the new national constitution on the grounds that strong government was opposed to liberty.